Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Liluy nishmas Miriam Sirius Mordechai. Shalom Aleichem to all the guests. Shalom Aleichem. Chicago.
Yeah.
What's your names?
Denver, Akiva and Yaakov.
Akiva and Yaakov Sam. Shalom Aleichem. Boy, do you do the shir?
Yeah,
You're starting. Really? So Be'ezer Hashem, this time, we're going to be there for like 3 weeks. Well, not in Chicago for all 3 weeks, but Ben Izman is like 3 weeks or so. Stark, yeah? We got to be Mechazik Doilam over there. So what's your name all in the back?
Eric Israel, Teaneck, New Jersey.
Oh, you were here yesterday. Ezric Israel, you came a little late, but that's why I didn't say hello to you. Now I know, we need a bigger parking lot. Underground parking. Eric Israel from Teaneck. Shalom Aleichem. Who else is new? You're not new. You were here before. No, the guy next to you. Once before. You see, I remember. What's your name? Betsy Schiff from Brooklyn, New York. Givaldik. Who else? That's it. You're not so new. Not anymore. The boy said, listen to this email. Dear Belly, I was learning the daf earlier, and in the middle of the daf, after you showed the new video of the fight between the torah and Gashmias, I realized that you told my story of me not putting on tefillin for a long time. When you started to say the story, I didn't realize that you're talking about me. When I realized that you're talking about me, it touched me and I started crying. I can't express myself what a lifesaver you are for me, and probably all the other recipients in the shir. You changed my life in capital, in every aspect. It's like you can't explain to someone that has never learned for 2 weeks straight the feeling of learning for a year or even a few years. Same. Can't explain to you my feelings after a few years of not putting on tefillin every day, not learning, not davening. By the way, this tikkun Leil Shavuos was the first time I was up all night and did chazura for the mesechta that I learned for real. I will struggle every day with my Yiddishkeit, but what keeps me is your shir. I still struggle, I still struggle every day with my Yiddishkeit. Keeps me is your shir. By the way, you said that you have a picture with me and I gave you permission to show it. I remember saying that I don't want it to be shared and I want to keep it private. And please don't share my name. Best regards, Gedalia. The first name I'll say. Wow, what a nice. No, because I said yesterday, you gave me your shoes, but you know what? I don't want to, maybe you'll have charot. He told me not to show it. Wow. Seriously. I was almost very, very nice. Talking about kiss from Hashem. Thanks again. And Benny screamed out. He knows the feeling because he also told me not to scream. It's a new word. Thanks again for your daily shurim, daily encouragement. Thanks to you. Instead of watching a movie or falling asleep, I just completed 2 shurim on the plane from Miami to New York. And I'm now up to date. People are learning on the plane. I'm heading to the oil. I have a murdik email I got about people. What's going on over there? Nothing. Okay. Be'ezer Hashem, next year, you'll see a great email from a guy on a plane. I'm heading to the oil of the Lubavitch Rebbe, and we'll daven for you the K'niyat Tzlacha and all of them as well. You mentioned on Gimel Tammuz how we can learn from the Rebbe's example that one person can make such a huge impact on Klal Yisrael. Below is the Hayom Yom's teaching for Dalet Tammuz, which is when I heard your words, Wednesday Tammuz, the 4th of Tammuz. One single chassid or student, it says, who devotes his heart, mind, and soul to Torah, and to bolstering Torah, affects wonders in a large city in all that city's affairs, in a manner that transcends the natural order by the merit of our patriarchs, fathers of the world. They say that one of the greatnesses of the Rebbe, listen to this, I love this line. One of the greatnesses of the Rebbe was that he didn't create followers, he created leaders. Thank you very much, Rebbe Eli, for doing the same and encouraging all of us to devote ourselves to bolstering Torah. Sincerely, Daniel Kahan from Miami. P.S. MDY shares the same initials as the names of the last 3 Rebbes of Chabad. I believe you. I don't know what they are. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Mendel, Dover, Yosef Yitzchak. Very nice. Dear Belly, my wife and I are vacationing in Park City, Utah. Continue to learn the daf. So he sent me a beautiful video, but I couldn't get it on. I have this issue sometimes. I can't get videos. What? Okay, here, look at this beautiful view. Listen, Rabbi Isai. Beautiful. Good morning. What a beautiful good morning, Rabbi Isai. May Hashem bless you and the entire MDY staff to continue to marry its torah, diverse MDY families of Ashkenazim, Sephardim, Modern, Hasidim, Misnagdim, young and old, Bali Tshuva, and from birth. Learn from this week's parasha. No machlokes, nor the disputes of Moshe and Korach, or something, I don't know. Sincerely, Yo, Gelen, Talmud since Tainus Daf Beis. So this is very interesting. 2 emails from Baltimore. So one of them is extremely long. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Thanks for all you do. I listened to the shiur and started learning through Official's incentive program in Baltimore. I'm now 64 years young and never was interested in Daf Yomi until now. I happen to be a mushroom farmer, and someone's listened to you on shiur in slow times during farmers markets and often as I do the mushroom cultivation activities. Non-hallucinogenic. You make learning fun. You truly are a fun guy. I heard you mention yesterday that around list 6 names. What? He's a patriot. Yashikoyach Doiv Ber Pier from Baltimore. Another from Baltimore. I'm going to skip most of it. Thanks of all. Thank you so much for the wonderful Daf Yomi shiur you present. Thank you, good friend, Reb Stephen Cycle. Yeah, I know who he is. The Mashgiach in Baltimore. I listen to it daily. I did not want to mention that though you begin your shiur with sponsoring, we have all the hasages. They should come home here. It's they used to end the shiur with a recital of Perek Tehillim, have the Matzman Yisrael, and for a while he doesn't hear it. Yes, I'm not going to say a Perek Tehillim when nobody wants to join me and nobody says it. And even now, after davening, it became like a burden for people because it's already 9 months. So now we started saying the entire kapitel together with the chazan. Shave off another few seconds. We used to say 2, now we say 1. It's not an Indian to say it if you're not going to say it. So, he says he hopes that everyone could say a tefillah. Thank you, Hashem, for giving me the opportunity and honor of being able to daven to you and study your Torah. I'm dedicating all my tefillahs and limited Torah today for Hatzlach of Am Yisrael, specifically the schus for Chayalei Tzahal and safe return of our hostages. Please help me focus when praying and to concentrate when studying your Torah so that they can be worthy merit of our Chayalim and captives. And it's a good thing to recite here. Shir Malay says, giving your position as a Maritz Barav, Torah Barav, and providing my suggestion for your consideration, possible dissemination, and whatever you deem best. Taking advantage, considering my thoughts and suggestions. It's my hope and prayer that publicizing the Samag Achinu B'nai Yisrael may foster greater love and understanding within our many different factions and shitas. Alan R. Newman, Baltimore, Maryland, and finally we have a picture of our Manulan, Zechariah the Manulan, learning the daf with the MDY cap in Yam HaMelech. Okay, Yivaldi. The Masechta for the space, somebody just caught him learning. It wasn't post. Masechta for the safe and speedy return for all the hostages. The Parnas HaChodesh, Linish Zechariah ben Moe Linish Chaim Bas Yosef. Parnas HaChodesh Refuat hanefesh and go for Breina Bina Bas Miriam Baila, Netanel Kalev ben Moe Bracha, and Moe Bracha Bas Breina Bina. Parnas HaChodesh Moe Landy, nishmas R Moshe ben Shmuel Yehuda, the Mashgiach of torah vodaas. Parnas HaChodesh Ahron Fraiman, the schus of the siyadta dishmaya and klal Yisrael. Parnas HaChodesh Lefur Shleima, Naftali Harris ben Liluy, a hidden tzaddik in our generation. Somebody even had the time to write me an email. If he's a hidden tzaddik in our generation, and we say this every single day, how's he a hidden tzaddik in our generation? Kasha. It's not a tuyufta, it's a kasha. Okay, Rabbi said we're holding Daf Zayin, Amud Beis, 16 lines from the bottom. How do we know that Esav was a good, I don't know if you could say a Jew in those days, but he didn't go off the derech until Avram Avinu was nifter. D'chsev, Vayova Yesim and Asada v'oyev, v'tana. Oysa Ayoyim nifter Avram Avinu. That was the day that Avram Avinu was nifter. V'asa Yaakov Avinu tavshel shel Adoshim l'Nachim and Yitzchak, the famous story with the tavshel shel Adoshim for the Nechama of Yitzchak. U'ma'ishel shel Adoshim, the Gemara is just going to say that's the day that Esav went off the derech. I remember why did he do Adoshim, lentils? I remember Rav Mishvei the Rabbi Mamori, Ma'adosha Zu, Ein Lo Peh. It doesn't have an opening. Avovel Ein Lo Peh. Ovel doesn't speak, shouldn't speak. Dovacher Ma'adosha Zu Gugeles, just like Adosha, lentil is round, it's a ball. Afavelos Megalgeles Mechazeres Akol B'Olam. So to Avelos, unfortunately, or that's the way the world is, it goes from house to house, from place to place. My Binai. What's the difference of the two pshatim? Could you use eggs For nichum, egg is not round, but it doesn't have an opening. So if the pshat is to show that it doesn't have an opening, doesn't have speech, so you can use an egg. But if the pshat is that it rolls from place to place, the egg doesn't roll. Esav was over on 5 major averos. On the day of the pitira of Avram Avinu, that's when he went off. But R Moshe, I say this all the time because it's a terrible thing. One of my best friends, when he went off, so he wanted to show that he's off. He wanted to prove to himself. So on Yom Kippur, he ate a cheeseburger. So I don't know, he wanted to show he's over on Yom Kippur and he's over on Treif and Bas B'cholav all b'vasachas. Huh? And it's a chalalisser.
Did he make a bracha?
But maybe he carried it and then he ate it and okay, he was all excited. Ba Naira Murasa. Naira Murasa engaged Naira. V'harag is hanefesh. He also killed. V'kavar be'ikir. He was kaifer be'ikir. V'kavar b'tchias hamesim. And he denied tchias hamesim. V'shatas ha'b'chayra. And he was mevayish the b'chayra. So the question is, how does to be mevayish b'chayra fit into this list? You kill somebody, over anesh yisish, cover be'ikir, all the chamurais, and then it says, v'shatas ha'b'chayra. Like we're in the Torah, does it say you're not allowed to embarrass the b'chayra? Is it issa deraisa to embarrass the, how does this fit in the thing? So the ultimate kelim and a vardik, they both say the same thing. You see from here that Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to be done the smallest of the small, just as the largest of errors. Every single thing a person does, there's a dim cheshbon. So now the Gemara just goes in to say, how do we know all these things? It's a hint that he's over on that Aveira. Harig's hanefesh, Ksiv Hacha, Oyev. Esav was tired, Ksiv Hasam, Oyna Li, Ki Oifa Nafshi Lahargim. So, it's a lashon of killing. V'kava be'ikah, Ksiv Hacha, Lama Zeli, Uksiv Hasam, Ze Eli Van Vei. V'kava b'tchias hamesim, D'chsiv, Hine Anoichi Hoylech Lamos. Why do I need the B'chayra? So, in other words, if he says, why do I need the B'chayra? Because he's not coming back. If he knew that he was coming back, it's a good thing to be a B'chayr. You do avoid, yeah, that's what I said, coming back. Yeah. Again, when a person knows that he's coming back, then he wouldn't deny the B'chayra. He wants to be a B'chayr. You know? Sorry. Yeah. And what happened? No. Lamos. The the end of the pasuk. No. Okay, no. I think it is connected.
Two different things.
Halach lamos. The person is going to die. So what's the problem? I'm going to die.
I know, but I'm not going to die. I'm going to come back.
Where do you see that?
Because he doesn't want to do any mitzvahs or anything, because no continuation.
No, I think it has to do with V'lam L'Zeh B'chayra.
Why? What if he's not?
Okay, you say no. Okay. Hine Anoich Lamos doesn't mean anything. Anybody could die. Okay? Maybe. V'shot is Abchayra, he was Mavayish the B'chayra, D'chsiv Vayives is Abchayra, Esav is Abchayra. What? The what? Arshil says like me. Ishkoya, thank you. A lot of people said, I'm going to die. I think Yaakov Avinu said it. No? Didn't other people say, I'm going to die? You're allowed to die. You're allowed to say, I'm going to die. So how do you see when you say, V'lama, you continue, V'lama L'Zeh B'chayra, why do I need the B'chayra? Meaning, a B'char used to do Avodas Beis HaMikdash. A B'char is a B'char. If you don't believe you're coming back, you get rid of it right now. It says Vayives Mefurish. He embarrassed the B'chayra. That's why it's good that a Kalev guy and a Rosh Kalev come to the shir. The Kalev guy did the daf yesterday. Now he learned pshat, at least one pshat. How do you know that Yishmael did tshuva when he was alive? His Talmidim were sitting in front of him and he fell asleep. Rava fell asleep. So the shwoozing in front of Rava while he's sleeping, like dremeling in. How do you say dremel in English? Dozed off. Nodding off. Vadid Amritu, is it true that you said Kol Misa Sheyesh Bo Gviya, when the Torah mentions the word Gviya, Zui Misasa Shel Tzadikim, this refers to Tzadik? Amalayin, yes. Oh, but of course it's coming with a follow-up. V'hadara mabel, what about this pasuk over here? It says Vayigvat's referring to Dora Mabel, and they certainly weren't tzaddikim. I meant when it says the word Gviya and Asifa is referring to the tzaddik. Look at this pasuk. It says both words. Rava wakes up. Children. Don't you know the famous Rabbi Yochanan? Yishmael asa tshuva b'chayaviv. So he's a tzaddik. That's why it says by Yishmael. Vayigva v'yasef. Shenema v'yikbru oisai Yitzchak v'Yishmael banav. Who's older? Yishmael is older than Yitzchak. So then why does it say Yitzchak before Yishmael? So the Gemara says, well, obviously it means that he gave him covet. He realized Yitzchak is great. Maybe the torah is just referring to Yitzchak first because he's a bigger tzaddik than Yishmael. You have to be consistent. And the pasuk when it says that Yaakov is buried, Esav came first. And obviously Yaakov is more chashiv than Esav. Esav Yaakov banav. My time, what happened?
Yitzchak.
Yeah, Yitzchak. You're right. Yitzchak what?
You said Yaakov was buried.
But I was talking about Yaakov, no?
No.
Okay, well, Yitzchak was buried. My time when Yaakov was buried, Yitzchak was buried. Put that word wherever you need to put it in. My time of the chashiv l'derech chachmas. And how come it doesn't say Yaakov before Esav, according to you? Why is Yitzchak before Yishmael? Because Yishmael convinced him to go first. Why did Yishmael convince Yitzchak to go first? Because he did tshuva before he was nifter. Torah Rabbana. Rabbi Isai, Chaparai, the last piece of Agadata of this perek. Oh, very, very important. Seriously. The next big push for the Masechta, Sanhedrin, is coming in 6 months. We got to push every perek. The perek, for those who don't know, and they don't realize you're supposed to start in the middle of a perek, the beginning of a perek is a great way to start. Push. Tell your friends. Chaparain. Bilabavich. 3 people was zoicha to taste Olam Haba in this world. Elohein. Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov. They tasted the Olam Haba in this world. Avraham d'chsiv bei bakol. Yitzchak d'chsiv bei mikol. They received everything. They had everything in this world. In other words, even Gan Eden, Olam Haba. Yaakov d'chsiv bei kol. If you notice, this is the lashon that we say in benching. Bakol, mikol, kol. Now we know why. Bakol is referring to Avraham. Mikol is Yitzchak. Kol is Yaakov. You should get everything. Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov. Bakol, mikol, kol. But these are the psukim. Comes from these psukim. I hear. Kasha. Mikol, you're saying me, not from everything. Mikol, I get it. It's worse than Bakol and Kol. Mikol is like a miut. I hear. I have a question. Didn't we just learn yesterday that Eoiv tasted Gan Eden? He used to throw the seed into the floor and out would come something for his animal to eat. Taisis kasha. He says Eoiv only had it in one thing. The Avos Hakdoshim had everything. Says the Gemara. 3 people in this world, the Yetzer Hara didn't control them. Elohen, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov. Question. What do you mean the Yetzer Hara didn't? So then how do you get schar? How do you have an assign? How Avraham had 10 nisyonos? He didn't have a Yetzer Hara. Taisis kasha. Taisis answers, of course they had an assign, but later on in life, when they were older already, that's it. It kind of, the Yetzer Hara, they were able to control the Yetzer Hara later on in their life. But of course, they were born with the Yetzer Hara like everybody else, maybe even more. V'yeshoimrim, huh? Yeah, you're able to shecht off the Yetzer Hara in a way. Point of being, okay, it doesn't. Sometimes you're Oved Hashem, you're doing mitzvahs. Doesn't mean that it's an assign. You have an assign to shake a lulav. There's 2 things: it's doing mitzvahs, it's doing averis. On the aver part, they didn't have such an assign later on in life. David didn't have a Yetzer Hara. Of course he had a Yetzer Hara most of his life. But it says over here, my innards are are empty. In other words, I don't have a Yitzhar. So how come the other man, the Omar, only says 3? Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. It doesn't mention David. No, he wasn't referring to the Yitzhar. Of course, he had a Yitzhar, David. He was talking about that the Tsar. I have Tsar, pain. Torah Rabbanon. Shisha leishala ben Malchamavis. 6 people. The Malchamavis couldn't kill them. Who killed? How did they lead this world? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But it wasn't Misa. Ve'eloel, Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Moshe, Ahron, and Miriam. When I read it the first time, I was like, wow, I never realized that Amram had 3 from the greatest people. It's 3 children. Imagine such nachas. One child is Moshe, the other one is Aaron, the other one is Miriam. 3 people the Malchamavis can't even kill. That's nachas. Avram, Yitzchak, this week's parasha. Aaron and Miriam. Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, d'chsiv behu, bakol, mikol kol. Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam, d'chsiv behu, al pi Hashem. So it's interesting. Rashi says it's not because of bakol, mikol kol. It's because of Moshe and Aaron. It says, al pi Hashem, they died from the mouth of Hashem, a misas neshika. Which, by the way, l'chayra means, Hashem didn't kill them. Hashem kissed them like the neshama came flying out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to be with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's not like, like a Malchamavis takes a sword and kills every person in the world. It was the dveikos of wanting to be with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so they depart the body to be with Hashem. It's not a misa. It's not like, I'm killing you. I'm there, here I am, and the neshama, so to speak, jumped to Hashem. It's a misas neshika, it's different. But because you see this idea by Moshe and Aaron, so it's impossible that Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov that have bakol mikol kol, not bakol mikol kol means misas neshika. Where does it say that in bakol mikol kol? But they had this, the most covet possible. And if Moshe and Aaron had misas neshika, so it has to be bakol mikol kol that they also had that covet. And therefore they also. V'ha Miriam l'ksiv ba'al pi Hashem. Where do we know that Miriam had misas neshika? Omar Rebbe Lazar, Miriam nami b'neshika meisa. Rabbi Yisai, this idea, this line that we have, it's a kiss from Hashem. That's Misas Neshika, a kiss from Hashem. And we have a kiss from Hashem that's in this week's parasha also. It's a double kiss from Hashem. It says in Reb Shimshon Pincus that when you could give 2 of your children a hug at one time. It's possible. Take 2 kids in your lap, you go like this. You could give a gift to 2 people. Give something to 2 people. He says you can only kiss 1 child at a time. You can only kiss 1 person at a time. You can't kiss 2 people at the same exact time. So Mela, he says that you should have this relationship with Hashem of a neshika. You should be like one with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and don't let other things intervene. Don't let and act like Hashem. He loves torah, chesed, tefillah. Don't let other things get in the way. Says the Gemara. Kiss from Hashem. It's you and Hashem. So we have a Gzeri Shabbos sort of. It says in the pasuk V'Tomash Sham Miriam v'Tikol Sham. V'Yomash Sham Moshe. I love it. Now I have Dave. He's up there. He's there the whole week, and by the tremendous yishkoyach. There's so many people I have to say yishkoyach. What?
He's got a mattress up there.
He got a mattress up there. I believe. No, he does the Hebrew every single night. Gary is out for the entire week. Some serious case of COVID. Mamish. I invited him for Shabbos. He says, I'm not coming to anyone for Shabbos. I'm just staying home. And his wife is not even there. So, like, does somebody feed him? I don't know. Yeah, somebody drops the food and runs. So he's there in the morning also. But what I'm saying is, yesterday I messed up. I did the red in the wrong sham. I did it at the end of the pasuk. Here, you can see. And Dave, on the spot, I said, in middle sham, I realized, put that red. It's givaldi. Okay. So, but why does it say? It's a beautiful thing that there's a neshika, a misas neshika by Miriam. Says Gemara, no, it's not nice. It's not appropriate to say that Hashem kissed Miriam. 7 human beings, the worms that come that they go into a body after death. Because it popped into my mind now. I thought about this thing. I'm scared to tell it to people, but nobody's listening. So, people hate bugs. They hate, like yesterday, there was a cockroach and says, the guy, an adult, 40 years old, running away from it. What's pshat? So I thought maybe, I'm throwing this out, because they attack us after we're dead. These little bugs, the worms, the spiders, the ants. So we have like a natural fear of them. I don't know, stop throwing this out. My son, I'm not going to say which one, my toughest son, the guy that goes bungee jumping and skydiving and you know, had a lot of fights in his life. A spider this big, you never seen an adult jump on a table so fast. It'll jump, like, I've seen people run away from mice, they'll jump on a table. A spider, this big. It's unbelievable. The fear that people have from certain, arachnophobia, yeah. All my kids are scared of spiders. The pel de gazah. They don't get it from me because I think from all insects, I'm least bothered by a spider. I think the gewaldic insects. They could climb down a wall. They catch other insects. The gewaldic. Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Moshe, Ahron, Miriam, u'b'yomim ben Yaakov. As Taisves, what do you mean? There's so many tzaddikim that we know. It's a mafurish Gemara that if you don't have kina, your body stays whole. Story upon story. They opened up this one's grave and that one's grave. Whole. What's pshat? So he says no. There's something about the body not decaying. That yes, but there's something about an insect not being shoilet, not controlling a body. That only 7 people, as we saw in the Gemara with Reb Lazar, Reb Shimon. Yeah. He was in the attic, and he stayed there for 22 years.
18 and 22.
He was up there, and he said, and all of a sudden his wife saw something coming out of his ear, like a worm coming out of his ear, and she got all scared. She said, "Don't worry, it's because I." But you see that there's one thing of rotting, and there's another thing that the worms control the body or don't control the body. That only 7 people had, that the insects stayed away or have no control. Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov d'chsiv behu b'komikol kol. Moshe Ahron Miriam d'chsiv behu al pi Hashem. Now, what's pshat al pi Hashem? So what? So they had mises in the shika. Explains Rashi, the Gemara in Avodah Zarah says, why does a body rot? Because the way the Malch HaMavis kills somebody is with his sword, and there's a drop of venom on the sword that goes into a person's mouth, and that causes rotting. That drop. So if you don't have that drop, you have mises in the shika, you don't have that drop that rots the body. So you're going to say it's that they don't rot. Toisves, okay. Forever, Allah. My flesh will rest forever. No, and what do you say? How come he's not in the list, according to the first Mandamar? Says Gemara, it means that David HaMelech asked Hashem that the worm shouldn't control him, but it didn't happen. He asked. There's a famous Vilna Gaon. He saw somebody saying Tehillim all day, all night. Every time he saw him, Tehillim. So he asked him, why are you saying Tehillim? He says, Rabbi Yonasan Eibshitz, who lived at the time of the Gra, also he's a little bit older than the Gra, but he said, Rabbi Yonasan Eibshitz said that David HaMelech asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu that if you say Tehillim, it should be like learning Oyalis and a Goyim. So I'm saying Tehillim, it's like Oyalis and a Goyim. So the Vilna Gaon said, yeah, it says that David HaMelech asked, but it doesn't say Hashem said it's okay. He asked. And in Haraya, he brings the Gemara in Bava Basra Daf Yud Zayin. David HaMelech asked that his body shouldn't be rotted, but Hashem didn't answer. How do you know? Because the Tanakh doesn't put him in the list. Says Rabbi Yonasan Eibshitz. The guy went back to Rabbi Yonasan Eibshitz. So Rabbi Yonasan said, no. I learned the Pshat in the Gemara. The Pshat in the Gemara is that the reason why he's not in the list is because he had to ask for it. Not that he deserved it on his own. Hashem did answer him. He wasn't. The torah didn't. Right. Just why is he not on the list? Because he asked for it and he didn't deserve it on his own merit. Tanur Rabbanan, Arba, famous Gemara. Arba Meisu be'etya shel Nachash. There are 4 people who died only because of the whole story with Adam and Chava and the Nachash. The Nachash convinced Chava with the Eitz Hadas, and that's where death came to this world. Without that idea, these 4, and everybody has to die, even those who don't deserve to die. There's 4 human beings that never ever sinned in their life, and because they never sinned, it seems like even one chet would cause misa. They didn't sin at all, so they shouldn't have died. They only died because of the Nachash. The Mashgiach just points out, why Nachash? Isn't it other Mauritians say? Because of other Mauritians. What's the Nachash? He says because the Nachash said that if you eat from the Eitz Hadas, you live forever. Oh, you live forever? Let me show you don't live forever. So it's the Nachash. I'll just say this because we're talking about living forever. So we know that human beings live to 120. So you say you should live to 120. So we just continue with this theme. At a person's wife's birthday, he tells his wife she lives to be 119. 119? What's 100? He says, what? I don't deserve 1 year to enjoy myself. Just 1 year. Okay. We got the same kind of response by the Israelis and the Americans. I just want to trying it out. Okay. Oh, who are they? Binyamin ben Yaakov va'Amram avi Moshe v'Yishai avi David. Listen to this. Binyamin, okay. This one is a Pella. Amram avi Moshe. It seems like twice that the schus of having Moshe Rabbeinu is a father that never sinned. V'Yishai avi David. How do you have a David? You have a father like Yishai who doesn't sin. V'Kilov ben David. Kilov, the son of David, who happens to be Daniel. His name is Kilov because he got revenge, sort of. He was machlim mipiboishes. David's Rebbe, who put everything David said down. The son came and said, no, my father's 100% right in learning. The Kulu, Gemara, and everything is from tradition. We know that they shouldn't have died. They never sinned. I just want to pause here for a second. Maybe he is soid. Let me ask you a question. We have 4 people that never sinned. How come nobody knows about them? How come they not do shpizin? How come we don't daven in Shmoneh Esrei? Yishai, Elukei, Amram, Elukei. They're the greatest of the great. Could we think of 4 people that are greater than them? They never sin. How do you have a greater person? And perhaps... Huh? Oh. Perhaps the pshat is that...
If he doesn't sin, he's not relatable to everybody else. Okay.
Relatable, not relatable. Who's greater? A person that doesn't sin or a person that sinned? A person that's chayiv misa or not chayiv misa? Well, but at least mention him. Okay, fine. I hear all the tirutzim, but I think the pshat is, you'll hear this and then you'll tell me. When a person is a manig of Klal Yisrael, like Moshe Rabbeinu, like David HaMelech, then a manig, he falls a lot more. He has a lot more opportunity to say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, and therefore they actually nichshal in certain things because of their hanaga. And that's why they're greater. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to be a man. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want you to sit in your room and just not sin. Go out there, take the risk. It is risky. And that's why, huh? Oh, but I did this before Matan Torah, this, I hear. Okay, good kasha. Somebody else also asked me that. Zok Gemara. You guys have better tiruts than everybody with their own terrors. Shim panam lecha. No Torah. V'kula Gemara Amasa Shom Som Avshalom Tachas Yoav Al Tzava. It says Amasa put Avshalom on instead of Yoav. V'Amasa benish Ushma Yisrael Asher ba el Avigail bas Nachash. Here's the point. Avigail, the daughter of Nachash. Achois Truyem Yoav. V'chi bas Nachashi. Is Avigail the daughter of Nachash? V'aloi bas Yishai. She's the daughter of Yishai. Ella. The reason why Yishai is called Nachash because he only died because of the snake, otherwise he wouldn't have died. Hadran Allah hashutfin, Hadran Allah hashutfin, Hadran Allah hashutfin. Boys, bring your friends. New parak. Mamish geshmak a parak, no? It's very geshmak. Very rarely does the Masechta start off like a shmak like that. Usually it ends off. Starts a little rough in the beginning. You know, the technical, I'd say, nickness, not koina. You know, it's like a little 16 daf of Geshmakite. Rabbi Isai, we had this idea when you do a little damage to your neighbor, you're in your rights, you're in your house. Could you cause damage to somebody else? You're in your property. Do you have your property rights? You say, hey, I'm building something here, I'm digging something here, I have something here. He doesn't like it, let him move a little bit further away. I'm in my property line. So for that we have this little thing over here. Just we're inviting all of the neighbors to come listen. Here's a guy in a boat. He's doing his own thing. He doesn't care about it's in his room. So Baila, it has no hashpa on anybody else, right? The fact that the boat is going to go down because that's something else. When you dig in your chutzner, in your domain, it could cause damage to your neighbor. So you got to be careful to your neighbor. So therefore, you're not permitted to dig next to the well of your friend. So we have to pay attention here because the mission starts off with two words: well and well. You shouldn't dig a well next to the well of your friend. And then if I want to tell you what you should do, I would say, make sure you distance yourself 3 tefachim from the well of your friend. But that's not what the Mishnah says. The Mishnah is going to say, distance yourself 3 tefachim from the wall of your friend. So the Gemara is going to ask, if we're talking about a well, why does it say the word wall? It comes to tell us a big chiddush. I just thought again, this is also a kiss from Hashem, Parashat Shavuot. It says, Be'er chafirua sarim. Talking about a well in our parasha. We have Miriam, we have Ahron, we have well. All these following things you have to distance from your friend. Nachash, that's right. Nachash, correct. Absolutely. Here we have a picture. Do not dig a well next to your friend's property line. Here's a well, a bar. Here's a shiach. It's elongated. And a ma'ara means it's covered. There's an opening, but most of it is covered. I forgot to put the amas hamayim in here, but we know that we had it a bunch of times in the last few days. The trenches that are 1 amma wide to bring water, channels of water to your field. This is great. I love this. I always love these things. Not that we have a picture, but basically the way they used to do laundry, Rashi says, they take the clothing, soak it in water for 2 days. But here's the magic detergent. Dog feces. Gewaldige stuff. Imagine the smell of the people walking around those days. I can't even imagine it. 2 days sitting in it. 2 days. It's moirdik. Today, I didn't try it. You know what I tried? I tried the 10-minute cycle on my washing machine. We have a 10-minute cycle these days. It's crazy. 2 days and going, and then afterwards going like this, taking out this. I don't know what they did. Hanging it up. 10 minutes. Shalom Yisrael. It smells better, is better, cleaner, the whole thing.
You should try it. Yeah, we can. Will you try it?
Huh?
Can't understand the shir without that.
You gotta try it. You should have tried it. Yeah. Next time we'll do a. But the Oilam won't be able to. I did a little kutach here and the Oilam ran out. Come on. Elam kein hirchik mi koisel chaveri. See the problem here? It says koisel. Elam kein hirchik mi boyer shel chaveri. Should say here. I just don't want to turn the page back. We're gonna see it on the top of your Amud Beis. I'm telling you the question here. It says bar, and then it finishes off with koisel. You have to distance yourself. Shloisha tvachim. Visod basid. Taisa says it's not literally visod basid. It's sod basid. It's without a vav. Hamoisav. It's either or. You distance yourself 3 tvachim, or you do one of these. Rabbi say, here we go. Either both. Taisa says you don't. Here. Taisa says, stop. He's using his Nachamal. If you didn't pick that up, I thought it was great. He's using his slipper. This guy's a mumcha gadol. He's out of Gaza, and he's using his slipper as the tool. It's unbelievable. The mumchishkeit of these people. But what they did is they would just dig, and there was dirt, and they put a little lime to cover it. Okay. Now you have to distance yourself from your friend 3 tefachim, otherwise you could cause structural damage to his bar. Gefes. Gefes means here. Let me show you what gefes is. From the pits of olives. Again, they never wasted anything. So from the pits of olives, they made fuel. Here's a fuel factory. Take a bunch of pits, grind them up nicely, dry it out, and now you have fuel. Adem hazeh in poor countries. This is what they use. We use to burn. What is it called? Birin for heating. Here it is. Boom, coming out of the machine. It's gewaldige stuff. I didn't try it, but it's mamish gewaldige stuff. We'll try it next time. This I tried. Rabbi said the next one. Check this out. This is great. We took out the sound because it's kalisha. But here, this is unbelievable. You take the manure of. You take the manure. I'm not joking. Take the manure. I know. I rode a bus that in that place. Check this out. You take the manure. You let it sit for a little bit, and in the winter you could literally see the gases coming out of it. Here, gases coming out of it. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. And the salt. So Rabbi said there's a Motzei Shabbos where a kid was born, and unfortunately he didn't speak. He wasn't speaking. When the kid was 8 years old, he was sitting at the table with his parents, and all of a sudden he tells his father, he says, "Ta, can you please pass the salt?" I was shocked. He said, What happened? What, you know how to speak? He says, "Yeah. Just I never had to ask for the salt. It was always next to me." But it's a Motzei Shabbos. Why? Because maybe that's what ruined it. What? It actually went well. Because I didn't say it was a Motzei Shabbos. No, but the nekuda is, I remember it says melach. The nekuda is that a lot of people wake up when they need something. That's when they start davening. Oh, Hashem, help me. I'm sick. I have this, I have that. It's supposed to daven beforehand. It's supposed to melach. Melach, koisel, things trigger different stories. Vesasid, lime. You have to distance the lime. Vesaslaim. These are stones that have some sort of heat to them. I don't know if it's referring to what do you call it? Coals, or maybe there's some sort of stone that has heat. All this, you have to take these stuff away from your friends, from your neighbor's wall, 3 tefachim. Oisad basid. Or, here it says Oisad basid. What does it say in the base here? You didn't even look. Visad here. The other gear says Visad. You have to distance or put lime or one or the other, or both. Marchikim says, you don't plant and you don't plow. Here's a picture of plowing close to your friend's wall. All these things could destroy the wall. Vesmiraglayim, this is also an issue today, that people relieve themselves on people's walls. It could destroy the wall. Mina koisel shloisha tefachim. Umarchikim esarechayim, the mill. So over here, you can see in the picture, maybe we could go a little closer. The mill is from two stones. There's the upper stone and the lower stone. Shloisha min ha-shechev, sheim arba min ha-rechev. Shechev is on the bottom, rechev is on top. So since one is smaller than the other, there's greater distance from the smaller stone to the wall. 4 tefachim. V'satanur shloisha min ha-kilya, we have a gevaldik picture of tanur. This is a tanur. To check this out. This is how tanur works. So the tanur itself is 4 tefachim away from the wall. But the bottom part, the base, the stone base is 3 tefachim because it's wider. Says the Gemara, sponsored by Turning the Daf, sponsored by Life Share Community, protecting families today before tomorrow's unexpected loss. What do we do? Says the Gemara, says the Gemara, the Havamina was, check this out. Let's see, we have to go back over here. Okay. No, it's Mara, this, okay. No, not good. I'm looking for something else. Oh, here. It's all the way here. This is the Havamina. You have to be marchik. You see, the blue water has to be 3 tefachim away from this kaisel, from this wall that protrudes outside. Says Gemara, no. When we say kaisel, we're not referring to a brick wall, to a wall. We're referring to the thickness of the actual well. We're talking about the width of the wall. We're not talking about a physical wall on top. It's this here. We're talking about the dirt, the actual distance between one pit to the other. So it comes out, according to Abaya, the distance between the hollow part of my well and the hollow part of your well, my water and your water is 6 tfachim. Because I need a distance 3 tfachim away from your well. What's your well? Not your water, but the wall of your well that's underground. Your physical barrier, what do you call it? What's a good word? That dirt that surrounds the well, that's what I need the distance 3 tfachim away from. Meaning 6 tfachim away. The natural wall, not what I built, but the 3 tfachim. Where did I get 3 tfachim? Because halachically I need 3 tfachim when I have a well. Says Gemara, say, okay, distance yourself 3 tfachim from your friend's well. Why does it say kaisel? I need to know this. Because when I hire a contractor and I tell him, build me a well, he needs to make sure that there's 3 tfachim width in the actual well, in the actual wall of the well. When I hire somebody, or I buy a well, I say I'm buying a well, it needs to have that amount. You don't have to build it like that. But when I hire somebody, that's included in every well. Every well has 3 tfachim of dirt around. Like it says, and this is the halacha, I'm selling you a well with its walls. The width, that dirt, as depicted over here beautifully between the red lines, is 3 tfachim. Not that they built a wall, but there's 3 tfachim of dirt. Again, not to be confused, because the first time I learned it, I thought there needs to be 9 tfachim here. 3, and a distance it to 3. No. My inside of the well has to be away from your outside of the well 3 tfachim, which makes from water to water 6 tfachim. Itmar. Very interesting question, and that's today's sugya basically. Can I make a well? Can I dig a well on my property line when you don't have a well there? I want to dig a new well, but you don't have a well there. Can I not? What's the concern? Maybe tomorrow you're going to want to dig a well and I'm going to ruin your well. Do I have to be concerned about you? What you're going to do in the future? So the Gemara is basically going to tell us, well, it depends maybe. If it's something normal, Shalom Aleichem, I didn't notice you. What's your name? Mayor Samber? Oh, Shalom Aleichem. The whole mishpacha is here, Gewaldig. Huh? So you schlepped him. They came to visit you and you, Gewaldig. Beautiful. Last night we had a guy that drove 3 hours to the shir and 2 guys that drove 2 hours, both from the north. All 3 from the north. Itmar, what was the name of the place he said? Ma'alot. 3 hours it took him to get here. Itmar. Huh? He said it took him 3 hours to get here. Okay, we got a minute left. Itmar, but listen with Tzad Metzer. Abai Omar Soymach v'Rava Omar Ini Soymach. Rava says you cannot build a well by the border, by your property line. Says the Gemara, Besoda Hasuya LeBoyrois. Okay, so we have beautiful charts for this year because the Americans get better. It goes like this. You see this 4 wells here? If it's a field that is normal to dig a well, why? The field needs water. Everybody's digging wells here. Divrei HaKol. This is listening to the first lashon. Divrei HaKol ein soymach. Everybody agrees you cannot. Look, you see, big X. You can't build a well when everybody's building wells. Why? Just because your neighbor doesn't have one doesn't mean that tomorrow he's not going to build one and tomorrow you're going to ruin it for him. Divrei HaKol ein soymach. Keep ligi. So where's the whole machlokes? Let's check this out. Here's the machlokes. Keep ligi b'sada she'ein asui lebayros. What do you have here? That whether it's a field that you build wells, whether it's a field you don't dig wells. 3 out of the 4 possibilities are no. The answer is no, you cannot build. There's one shita in a situation where nobody builds wells that you could build a well. That's abaya. So 3 out of the 4, no. Abaya Omar Soymech do'ayena asui lebayros. Abaya says you're allowed to. Why? Because in my field nobody's digging wells. Well, I don't have to be concerned for something that's not going to happen. Rava Omar Eni Soymech. You do have to be concerned. Just like you went ahead and dug. One day I'm going to decide to build. Here's the second lashon. Rabbi, pay attention because it's very, very simple. Just because it's, this is the opposite. 3 out of the 4 possibilities say it's okay to build. When nobody's building, even Rava agrees you're allowed to dig. Nobody's building, nobody's digging a well here. Even in a field where people are digging away, since you didn't dig yet, I'm going to dig first on my property line, according to Abaya. We had the sugya here. Where is it? Here we go. If there's a well, you have to distance your tree 25 amma. Why? Because otherwise the roots will come and destroy the guy's well. Rabbi Yossi says, I can do whatever I feel like in my property. Don't tell me what to do in my property. I'll plant whatever I want to plant. If it goes into your property, you take care of it yourself. You put a nice cement wall that goes down 40 feet into the ground. That's not my problem. It's my property to do whatever I want. Chazam. In that case, look, when he planted this tree, let's go back. Look, there's a pit here with a well. You're planting a tree. You're right, today there's no roots there, but tomorrow there will be. You're ruining it. So in that case, even they'll say it's no good. But in our case, says Abaya, I dug a pit when you didn't have a pit. So I dug, everything was kosher. The fact that maybe tomorrow you're going to want to build a pit there, that's your problem. Let's just go back here so we see the chart, very simple. Where's the Machlokes Rabbi say? In a place that people are digging pits, like the right side, there's 4 pits there. Even in a place where people dig pits, Abai says, it's mutter for me. Why? Because you didn't dig one. Rabbi says, no, it's also for you. Even according to Rabbi Yossi, that says you can do it in your property wherever you want. But in this case, Rabbi Yossi will admit that you can't. It's only by a tree when it's this baby tree and the roots don't cause any damage. So he said, okay, the fact that there's going to be damage in 2 years from now when the roots grow, that's something else. It's not giro, that's a whole different sugya we'll get into. Every time you take a shovel of dirt out, you knock that shovel into the ground. The kamachas, then you make that noise, you hit. You are weakening my property. Even though I don't have a pit yet, but you're weakening my property, causing physical damage right now. Yeah, I just remembered. I built a house, brand new house. Actually, the house that Bensy Freeman lives in right now. We dug a foundation. The neighbor comes to me, sues me. He says, when you dug the foundation, you ruined my foundation. Look, I have a crack. I said, every foundation in Chicago has a crack. No, pay me. Okay, whatever. We dealt with him. But that's what it is. You're causing, as you go down, you're causing damage to the guy right next to you. Tanan.
He's in the foundation. He's in the foundation. We dealt with him.
What?
In Chicago.
We dealt with him. We never heard from him again. Tanan, no, you know what? I just remembered. He's a HVAC guy. He does air conditioning and heating, and we used him later on. It was fine. We gave money. We wanted a few $100. Fine. Say it. Tanan, what about our Mishnah? It says in our Mishnah that you should not listen to what it says. Simple diuk. Anybody here can make this diuk. It says, do not dig a pit next to your friend's pit. Meaning that if there's no pit, you're allowed to dig. The only reason why the whole Mishnah starts off, don't dig a well because it's next to your friend's well. Time adika bar, haleka bar saimach. No, it's a kasha, a rava that says that you're not allowed to put a pit there. So let's see what it goes. Now, take a look at the screen. According to this lashon, if it's a place that nobody digs anyways, everybody holds. Rava holds. You're allowed to dig. Everybody holds. You're allowed to dig. No. So perfect. Everybody's going to hold. That you're allowed to, we'll just say the Mishnah is talking about a place that you don't dig. Usually you don't dig. And look, everybody on the left side holds. You're allowed to dig. Great, no question. But let's go up here to the first lashon. We have a major problem because in this case, 3 out of the 4 positions are good. In this case, 3 out of the 4 are bad. You cannot dig. So what's this lashon? That a place that it's also in a case. If it's asui lebaris, everybody holds. You're not asui lebaris. You're definitely not a dig. So what are you going to tell me? It's talking about a case where it's ein asui lebaris. Nobody digs there. Now, I have a big problem. From our Mishnah, mashma you're allowed to dig a bar if there's no other bar, right? It says in our Mishnah you're not allowed to dig a well if there's another well. But if there's no other well, you're not allowed to dig. It says in our Mishnah there's another well. You're allowed to dig if there's no other well. That could go according to Abaya. It says in our Mishnah you're allowed to dig. According to Rava, give me a case where you're allowed to dig. 3 out of the 4, as you see over here, is also to dig. The only option to dig is according to Abaya. According to Rava, there's 0 options. You're never allowed to dig. So what is our Mishnah talking about? From our Mishnah, it's mashma you're allowed to dig. How? Fakert. Our Mishnah is a raya like me. You're not allowed to dig ever. In fact, you have to distance yourself from the guy's water. How many tefachim in our Mishnah? 6. You're never allowed to dig next to a wall. And some say, Vitmar law. We just said in our Mishnah, you have to distance yourself from your friend. 6 tefachim. In other words, you're always distancing yourself from the border. 3. It's great according to Lashon number 1 over here. According, even Abaya agrees on the right side that if it's a place that people dig, you're not allowed to dig. Great. It's talking about a place that everybody digs. Even Abaya agrees you're not allowed to dig. Let's go to this one. Lashon Beis. That what? That the whole machloikis is when you do dig, and even Abaya holds when you do dig, you're allowed to dig. Because it says you're not allowed to dig. In our Mishnah it says you're not allowed to dig. We made a dig from our Mishnah, you're not allowed to dig. I'm sorry. Yeah, Ela Abaya Kasha. Why can't you dig? Not that one person dug and then another person dug. When 2 people come to dig together, of course you have to distance yourself. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. A guten Shabbos. Motzei Shabbos, Beis Hashem, 10 o'clock.